What's up YouTube, it's LimitlessTCG, and do you want to get better in the competitive Pokemon TCG? Do you want to win more games? Do you want to get your first day 2 or even win a regionals at one point? Well, it all comes down to data. I have been using data for my entire career in the Pokemon TCG, and it helps me so much for my correct deck decision. And that's the most important, crucial part about going to a big tournament, or regionals and internationals, maybe even for the World Championships as well. If you qualify, you want to of course know which decks you can expect and what win rates are, conversion rates as well. So today we're going to be introducing LimitlessTCG Labs. If you've been living under a rock, LimitlessTCG is a fantastic platform, and they recently added something new, and I'm going to be showcasing the features today. So if you guys are hyped for it, let me know by rocking the hell out of the like button. It only takes one measly second of your time, but does help out the channel tremendously. It is super effective, and without further ado, let's dive into LimitlessTCG Labs. Okay, LimitlessTCG, created by Robin Schulz, the most influential Pokemon TCG player ever, because if it weren't for Robin during the pandemic, where you would have been in a very awkward situation where TCG might have died off. But this is not the case. Robin brought new life into the Pokemon TCG by introducing LimitlessTCG, and it also introduced online tournaments with play.limitlesstcg.com. But now, for the competitive players out there, if you want to analyze data, we get TCG Labs. LimitlessTCG Labs is very cool because this is the statement here. Welcome to Limitless Labs. On here, you can find experimental features and in-depth tournament data that goes beyond our regular database. At the moment, that includes detailed standings and metagame analysis for tournaments that have the necessary information available through arcanine.gg. Please keep in mind that standings are calculated outside of the official tournament software and might contain errors. But the cool thing is that we can take a look at results. As a little example, we can just check out the most recent tournament, the regionals over in Milwaukee. You can actually see the entire tournament standings as well as the deck list. This is something that they already had in the regular LimitlessTCG tournaments page, but this time around, we even get the decks that didn't make it into day 2. So that if we scroll down all the way to like the bottom, show all players, you can actually check out a person that like last place or whatever. Not that it's that crazy useful. There's also a couple of drops, but you can check out, for example, you can check out this list, this for alligator list if you want to. But that is actually very cool, because in the past only day 2 decks were actually included onto Limitless. Now you can find yourself back, even if you didn't make day 2, into the entire standings. The cool thing is that you can now have some metagaming going around with this option here. There's like 1,657 players out there. Then you can check out the entire meta share, which is very crucial. I know they give this as well during the official Pokemon TCG tournament streams, but this can actually be, we can go a step forward. We're gonna talk about that in a second, but this is actually very cool to see. Here, for example, we see that the Joltik box was 11% the meta share. That's kind of crazy, with a good win rate as well. You can calculate even the win rate from day 1 to day 2, the conversion rate as well. So Joltik had, for example, a 23% conversion rate, and conversion rates are very crucial. You can see a couple of them 100%, but you don't have to like take those into account because only one person played it. For example, Charizard Pidgeot had 12 players and 3 of them advanced to day 2, so that's a 25% meta share, which is actually kind of high for that example. And then Joltik was played by 194 people during day 1, and 46 made it to day 2, so that conversion rate is 23%. For that many players, that is actually kind of nuts. And this is actually going to give yourself some data going into the next event. Like, imagine you're going to maybe the Utrecht special event. Well, you can take a look at the data that is being played here, most in particular what the day 2 meta share was, because those will become more popular, so you will need to have answers for all of these. And another thing you can see is, of course, the pairings that would happen during the round 7, round 10 as well, and which person won. And you can also like click on the entire tournament run, for example, from Christian Labella, and see against which decks they had trouble or had a rough time, where they lost, where they tied. In this situation, they tied against Joltik Box and they tied against Gardevoir. But for specific decks out there, you might think, do I want to play this? Against which decks did this person lose? And that's also something you can check out on the labs page from LimitlessTCG. So very crazy data for sure. And it's not only the Masters, you can also see the senior division, and that's kind of insane, because now you can see actually the tournament winner for the senior division, for example, was this cool looking Ens Zoroark EX deck. So you can now be playing first place winning lists from the senior division as well. So we did see Terabox get in second place, and that actually counts for the senior division as well. You can get all the data, even though some people didn't get into day 2, you now have full data available to you, and I couldn't be happier. I got one in the junior division, Frostlass Monkey Dory. So that is very awesome to see. We can have more data than ever before. You can also, of course, see that the Frostlass Monkey Dory deck was 11-2. You can click on the exact person here, I would say, and see against which decks they lost. They lost against an Archilodon, the Dunsparce, and they lost against a Joltik box. So very cool to see against which decks specific runs actually lost. So specific decks, you could even search in for a type of player here. Let's say, for example, you want to be knowing, I don't know, let's give an example, like, for example, Rahul Reddy, as an example. Where did he land? Oh, he got 33rd, so he bubbled out. So you can search out players by name in this incredible labs page. But that's not where it ends. We can actually have the next section here. And that's actually not, so you can do this for every tournament. I'm gonna check here as well to see if it exactly works, because I played at the EUIC in London, and I actually did not make it into day 2, so nobody knew my list. But now we can actually see I got 481st out of 2,000 players or something. So we can see my exact Archilodon list. Let's go. So that's cool to see, right? Even if people don't get day 2, they are now officially on Limitless. What else are we going to talk about is metagame. This is something I am going to be using so much. So what is the metagaming? On this page, you can combine the metagame stats from multiple tournaments. Click onto the search below to select the tournaments you want to analyze. So as an example, we can take a look at Atlanta Regionals, is where the format started, right? With all the Badu shenanigans, and we had the Journey Together format. So you see here, Raging Bolt, if you take, this is going to be very important, the conversion rate was only 6%. So people thought, what? Raging Bolt is such a horrible deck, we're not going to play it anymore. And that's something that impacts the next format, right? Actually, the next tournament. If you see that in this example, Raging Bolt is going to be bad, the tournament following after that will have way less Raging Bolt. And you can group those all together. For example, you see the overall win rate, you see the day 2 win rate, you see the day 1 win rate, which is something that's going to help out a ton if you're looking at a specific deck. And the cool thing now is you can add in some more tournament data. So if we take a look at the highest performing deck, I would say, they're not going to take a look at these one-off plates. So Archilodon, that's also not Dracopult. Dracopult had a 55% win rate overall. And that meant that straight Dracopult will become better the following format, but you can just add in all of these events, the Monterrey Regionals over in Mexico. Let's see what happens then to the win rate. Well, if we group this, apply, and then go for the win percentage again, because win percentage is always the most important factor. The Dracopult is still hanging in there, but we see Joltik box popping up, because if we take a look and remove, for example, the Monterrey Regionals, no, add a tournament section, and we apply this again, we see Joltik is nowhere near there. So we see Joltik here at a 46% win ratio, and just by one tournament, the Monterrey Regionals, this deck skyrocketed all the way to 55% win ratio, which is kind of crazy to think about. That one deck out of nowhere stormed the tournaments, and now it is definitely a top 5 contender as one of the best decks in this format. So you can see all those trends going around during all these events. And you can also group together. Let's put in Sevilla as well as Milwaukee. And if we group them all together, this is meaning that with all those matches played, I see here, for an example, let's take a look at the most popular meta share. So throughout all these tournaments together, we see here that Dracopult is still the most popular deck. Not the highest win rate, the Dracopult Dustmore version, but we also see the win rates, by the way, and the win rates are really important. If you group all of these together, there's you get a lot of data going around and going your way, so you can calculate specific things. Win rate out of all these tournaments combined together, which deck has a crazy win rate? Bennett, because only one person played it. So you have to think about decks for example, I think straight Dracopult deck is the most winning deck, I would say. If you take a look at day 2 conversion of all these tournaments grouped together, that's also something cool, right? you see that Charizard is nowhere near as unplayable as it seems, because if it grinds into day 2, it can actually do something. Hydreigon, Sterilage, Rogue Deck is doing well. Blizzy also had a very powerful result, but that's just because it got second place. I think it was at the Monterrey Regionals. So lots of cool data to be taken a look at, for sure. And another thing I'm gonna check out real quick, if we take a look at all this data, I want to check out, I think the Monterrey Regionals is where Brent Tonneson won. So if we take a look at that and then take a look at the overall ratio, no, it's actually going to be on tournaments. This is where I'm going to check it out. So we have, not this tournament, we need to go to the one from Monterrey and then check out Brent Tonneson, which was able to win the tournament. And then we can see against which decks they had some trouble with. Goldango Dragapult, he tied against Caleb Rogerson with Goldango Dragapult, also tied against Terrabox, and they lost against Roaring Moon the Dunsparce. So very interesting decks. If you say like these are not too popular, then Gardevoir is still a great pick for you. So I am so grateful for Robin Schulz for introducing us to more data. Definitely check it out for yourself. I want to know your opinions down below. Are you happy that you can finally see the results from every tournament, see the Masters, the Juniors, as well as the Seniors? That's going to be very great news for people that want to check out their senior local scene or their junior local scene to take a look at data to make sure that your next tournament run, you're prepared for what is technically popular. If you enjoyed the video, let me know by rocking the hell out of the like button. Helps out in humongous ways. I cannot stress that out enough. I'm forever grateful if you do so. And also go check out the sponsors. They make the videos possible every single day. Level up your game with TC Evolutions. Breathtaking damage counters, special condition tokens, and ability markers. Precision, style, power. Use coupon ZapDosTCG for 10% off only at TC Evolutions. Also go check out DragonShield.com for your sleeves, binders, and deck boxes. You can get them with 5% off and they ship worldwide, so definitely check them out. There's PotownStore.com for your TCG Live code card needs. You can get them with 5% off using the coupon ZapDosTCG, and Cardmarket.com for European players where you're able to buy as well as sell cards to people all across Europe. Use the referral name ZapDosTCG and you're helping out incredibly. Thank you all very much for watching today's upload. Robin Schulz, if you're seeing this, you're a true legend in the game. I'll be using this application so much and I'm forever grateful. Thank you all for watching today and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.